Hello friends, I am Dr. Chanchla Jain. In this video, I am going to talk about how to select appropriate statistical test for hypothesis. From my past experience, I understood this thing that usually students, research scholars are facing problem in selecting appropriate statistical test for their hypothesis. So, probably this video can help them to select appropriate statistical test for their hypothesis. Friends, for identifying that which will be the appropriate statistical test for our hypothesis, we need to give answers to 3 questions. The first question is, how many variables we have in our hypothesis? Second thing is, what is the type of our variables? The third question is that, which type of hypothesis we have formulated? For example, we have formulated hypothesis for finding out the difference, or for finding out the relationship between the variables, or for finding out the impact of one variable on other variable. So, if we are having to address these 3 questions, we would be able to identify the appropriate statistical test for hypothesis. Usually in statistics, we can divide all the statistical tests into the 2 categories. These 2 categories are, the first one is parametric test category, second is the non-parametric test category. If I talk about the first category, that is the parametric test category, in this test category, usually when we are having the data and our data is following the normal distribution, in that case we are applying the parametric test. In this particular category, we can keep t-test, z-test, ANOVA, etc. Second category is the non-parametric test category. So, if our data is not following the normal distribution, or when we are having the categorical data, in such case we are applying non-parametric tests. Under this category, we can keep chi-square test, Mann-Whitney U-test, Kruskal-Wallis test, Spearman rank correlation test, etc. So, we can understand all this process by taking one example. Say for example, my hypothesis is there is no significant difference in the mean scores of male and female students. So firstly, we will identify here how many variables we are having in this hypothesis. So it is very clear that we are having the 2 variables in this particular hypothesis. The first one is the score. Second one is the male and female students, that is we can say we are having the second variable, that is gender. Now we will see what is the type of these 2 variables. So the score is the continuous scale variable, or you can say it is a numeric variable. And the second variable is, that is gender, it is a categorical variable. So we have addressed 2 questions here. First one is we are having 2 variables. Second one, we have identified the types of variable. Now the third thing is, we need to see which type of hypothesis we have formulated. So hypothesis is, there is no significant difference in the mean scores of male and female students. So that means we are interested here to identify the significant mean difference in these scores, right? So whenever we have to identify mean difference, generally the t-test and ANOVA is used. So if I talk about independent samples t-test, in that case we need to have 2 variables, one categorical, one continuous, and in the categorical variable we need to have 2 categories or 2 groups. So according to our hypothesis, the requirement of independent t-test is fulfilled here. So that means we can go for the independent samples t-test. Further, we need to see whether the data is following the assumptions of t-test or not. Accordingly, we will proceed further. So this way we have identified the particular problem, that how or in which case we will apply the independent samples t-test. Suppose second example I am taking, and I am saying that there is no significant difference in the mean salaries of employees on the basis of their designation. So here we can say we are having again 2 variables. First one is salary, second one is the employee's designation. So we need to see the types of these 2 variables. Salary is a kind of numeric variable, and the employee's designation or category is a kind of categorical variable. And if suppose in the designation we have taken 3 designations, suppose manager, clerical staff and the accountants. So this way in the categorical variable now we are having more than 2 categories or more than 2 groups available. So in such case we will not go for independent samples t-test because there is a restriction that independent samples t-test can compare only 2 groups. So when we are having more than 2 groups we will go for one-way ANOVA. So in this case the appropriate statistical test will be the one-way ANOVA. So friends, I hope by understanding the number of variables, their types and what type of hypothesis you have formulated, that way you can decide upon the appropriate statistical test. So thank you so much. Probably this video can resolve your problem. Thank you.